Hello and welcome to the Farmacy Seeds Network. Tonight it's the live stream for the Sunday night All Things Natural Net, brought to you over amateur radio and streamed directly live to you here on the Farmacy Seeds Network YouTube channel. Good to see everyone spooling in here. I'll just go ahead and greet everyone quickly. Kirsten Lee, Marie Bond, YTFP Chris Jarvis, Edery Taryn Maislin, and Kylie, Robert Hayes, Geeky Gardens. Welcome everyone, welcome. Yeah, glad you're going to grow your own nettles. You won't be disappointed on that, YT. Alright, with that I'm going to go ahead and get this net started. Oh hey Drops, that's okay, you can lurk if you want. Thanks for coming in, appreciate it. I'm going to go ahead and get this net started as I'm running just a hair late, which is always how it is. Coffee takes priority, you know. Let's do it. This is KD2IIN Net Control for the Sunday Night All Things Natural Net. The Sunday Night All Things Natural Net is an amateur radio net provided to you over the Overlook Mountain Amateur Radio Repeater, the 146.805 MHz repeater with a negative shift of 600 kHz and a PL tone of 103.5. This net will break will break for any priority or emergency traffic, so please don't hold back if you have an emergency or you have priority traffic you need to run. This net is dedicated to farming, gardening, ecology, food, and the like, but the scope of our discussion often goes much broader than that. Without any further ado, let's go ahead and get started. This is KD2IIN looking for check-ins for the Sunday Night All Things Natural Net. Watch it be a dead night. There we go.
KD2 TQS, Ken.
There's Ken. Very good. Alright, the net welcomes KD2 TQS. Ken, how are you this evening?
Very good. A nice relaxing day. Nice relaxing weekend, actually. Processed up some photos from the Fox Hunt last weekend. Got some just chill time. 3 guesses what I'm doing right now, so life is good. Back to net.
No, not anything other than by name, Robert. I do know the name. All right, very good. Well, glad to hear it. Glad you came along with us, and I guess we'll just see if anybody else has showed up yet for the net. This is KD2IIN Net Control, looking for check-ins for the Sunday Night All Things Natural Net. Looks like the floor is all yours tonight, Ken. You have anything you want to talk about specifically?
Why, yes, and given that it's an all things natural net, you might be the person that can help me with this question.
Hey, Owen.
What is the flight velocity on an unladen swallow?
On what kind of swallow?
Unladen.
Good question. Boy, I don't know. I would guess probably in the 80 to 100 mile an hour range, but I don't know the answer to that off the top of my head. I can tell you a peregrine falcon runs around 200 miles an hour on a dive.
Yes, seen the peregrines many times. That line is a famous line from Monty Python and the Holy Grail. I've said it, I don't know how many times, and I think 3 people throughout the past 20 years have ever caught on, so you're in good company.
Fair enough. I thought that did sound familiar, and I've seen all of those movies, and they're excellent movies, but it's probably been 25 or 30 years, so I've lost a few of the lines out of my head. But thanks for sharing that.
It was the challenge question. Anytime they had to cross the bridge over the river or do whatever, you know, rather than fight them, they'd ask them a challenge question. And that was always the question that was asked.
for sure. Thick with sarcasm and innuendo, and they were really they did some great creative humor in like a comedy skit form for sure. Anarchy Apiaries. Yes, I've had him recommended to me before, Robert.
Just wacky humor or just juvenile, but it's not. If you take a look at it and the layers, and some of it is satirical, topical innuendo, but if you look beyond that, oh my God, is that incredible.
Yeah, it's a lot like those old Warner Brother cartoons where there was kid humor there, but there was also like teenager humor, and then there was like adult humor, and depending on your maturity, there was multiple levels of humor stacked in the same thing. I can really appreciate the brilliance that it takes to do that. Oh yeah, Kai speaks our language.
Yeah, Pixar is well known for that. Even now, that's why the parents don't mind taking the kids to the movies to watch it, because they're laughing hysterically. Very adult humor that's in those movies that goes right over all the kiddies' heads.
Yeah, some of it was some very adult humor. That's true. All right, well, let's just see if anybody else has showed up to join the conversation here. This is KD2 IIN Net Control for the Sunday night All Things Natural Net. If there's any further check-ins, please call now. Sundaying, I like it. Are you relaying to Sundaying? Looks like a quiet night tonight, Ken.
That could be a double-edged sword.
It could. The two of us unregulated might be trouble, huh?
Either one of us unregulated could be trouble. Two of us would be more than double trouble.
Yeah, that's at least to the fourth power, isn't it?
At least.
Yeah, so I don't know. So I never saw those movies until my cousin Pete from Michigan came, and when he visited, he was like, "Oh no, we have to rent those. You have to see those." And it's been great to have those references. I wish I hadn't lost so many of them. I should probably go back and watch them again at some point. Are you familiar with The Princess Bride? Got a wind blowing up the storm. Complete whiteout. Wow.
I want to say yes, but I can't recall anything about it right now. I do remember seeing it, wandering through the house as the girls were watching it, but can't recall anything in detail.
Yeah, that's another one right up there with the Monty Python. Inconceivable! I don't remember a whole lot of that movie, but I know a friend of mine that I grew up with, he and I still, he'll still pop out with those lines, and I'll be like, oh, right, I remember that. That's from The Princess Bride. Anyway, another movie that's along the lines of Monty Python in humor and style, I guess you would say.
Yeah, fortunately, radio can't relay the voices going through my head with alternating scenes between those two movies, like the barbershop
really,
from the I'm a Lumberjack skit with the others. And yeah, what did we say earlier about being dangerous, just the two of us, unsupervised?
For sure. I think if other club members don't want the OMARC repeater blown up, somebody should check into the net. Speaking of that, if there's any further check-ins, call now. All right, forever hold your peace. Back to you, Ken.
Well, I can offer you a tidbit of scientific validity to the aspect that Bigfoot may actually exist. There were 2 new species found this week alone. And again, we've been living with these things for thousands of years and never saw them, despite the fact that being right in front of our face all the time. So, a little tidbit with that you can pass on.
hear you elaborate on that, actually. And while we're on the conversation, did you see I had a guy named Tom Seward on my channel, and he's actually a Bigfoot researcher, and he was talking about following the food to do the research on them.
Sarcasm being reserved for Monty Python, I have no appropriate comment to your have you seen comment. I've barely been seeing inside of my eyeballs lately, so no, I have not. Do tell.
Okay, well, I had a guest on my channel, I think it was like 2 weeks ago now, named Tom Seward. He's from the Kawakiwak First Nations people in Vancouver, British Columbia, or Vancouver Island, and I actually had him on to discuss how the First Nations people interact with their environment and some of their food gathering techniques for a little bit broader and different perspective on regenerative agriculture. But I came across him through Sasquatch related stuff, or Bigfoot related stuff. Actually on Sasquatch Chronicles, he was a guest on there a number of times, and I just thought he would make an excellent addition to the perspective on regenerative ag and how we should be interacting with the land in a more healthy way and that sort of thing. But he, in that interview, he talks a bit about how he's trying to follow the Sasquatch using the food supply and all sorts of interesting stuff. It's about 45 minutes long. It's on my channel. It's called what is it called? Let me find it.
I can hum the Jeopardy song while I'm waiting if you want.
No, I already got it. A First Nations Perspective on Sustainability and Sasquatch with Tom Seward.
Cool. Yet another thing added to my lengthy list of things to be reviewed at some point, preferably sooner rather than later.
For sure. Yeah, I hear you. I've been pretty overloaded myself lately, working some extra hours and doing some upgrades in the greenhouse, which most of that is done now successfully, so that's exciting. And I don't know, trying to get firewood in and then keep the YouTube streams going and run nets and all that sort of stuff. But let's just do another pause here and see if there's anyone who wants to join the Sunday Night All Things Natural Net. This is KD2. I am looking for any check-ins for the Sunday Night All Things Natural Net. Please call now. Champagne, awesome. I haven't had champagne in forever. Put up the Christmas tree. I haven't put up a Christmas tree in forever either. Alright, no further check-ins. So, what can you tell us about the new species that were discovered?
Not much, actually. I remember scanning it. I haven't even read news sources much this week. I saw headlines, that's about it.
Nice guy.
One of them is a new, well, there's actually...
Thank you, Geeky.
2 weeks ago or so, they have a whole new kingdom of animals. Well, it wouldn't be an animal, but a whole new kingdom added to the classification system. It's not just a new species, it's a whole new type of species never before recognized on the face of the earth. Now that's pretty freaking significant if you think about it. Something as big as a kingdom, and it's just newly discovered in the past month. That's significant. Plus 2 or 3 other minor species of that. But I'll pause on that one.
Oh wow, an entire kingdom. That's that is very significant. That blows my mind. But yeah, it does point to the fact that we don't know everything on this planet yet, even though that seems to be how things are portrayed, like we've explored it all. We definitely have not explored it all yet.
Within the past year, 5 species which have been ruled extinct, some of them for 50 or 100 years, are suddenly like, oops, look what we found. So, it says a lot about the scientific process, eh?
Oh, for sure. I think it's Rupert Sheldrake. He has a TED Talk on the 7 delusions of science. Really interesting perspective into what we think of as science and some of the faults behind the way of thinking or the approach.
science
Exactly.
already has a conclusion drawn before they start the investigation. Very little research is done from an open-ended perspective, which is a true scientific process. Now, I understand why you need those narrow focus
Justin.
to prove
What's up,
one
dude?
snippet of a theory and be a cornerstone building block to work from. But if that's all the people roll with and know and work with, there's a broader perspective of, wait, that's one piece to be put into the rest of the puzzle to give an overview, not a microview.
Yeah, I completely agree, and it's interesting that I lost my train of thought. I hate when that happens, but it's like even gravity, right? Gravity actually, as they've tried to measure, has been shown to fluctuate. So they just picked basically an average and said, okay, that's what we call gravity constant. But if it's fluctuating all the time, it's not a constant, is it?
All depends how you define constant. If you're looking at a human time perspective, anything that flips within 100 years would not be a constant, but that 100 years is not even a split second of a fraction of a second in cosmic time. But we'll spare that for some other time when we have more time to talk about it.
Yeah, that'll take at least a cosmic hour, I would think. Yeah, no, your point is valid, and it's interesting. Interesting how we just sort of accept, everything, all the stuff we have. But the other thing too with the science thing is, there's a lot of peer pressure there too. Like, a lot of scientists are afraid to really introduce new ideas because of the criticism that they have to endure when they introduce a new idea, and that's kind of sad too. You would hope that it would be more open to actually exploring. This is Kitty2, IIN, Net Control for the Sunday Night All Things Natural Net. That's exactly
about 10 minutes by now. Publish or perish. They have to work within 5 organizations and corporate structures, and that limits the ability to think, let alone free think. And again, can you tell me what the golden rule of arts and science is?
Yeah. Point is taken. Point is taken. Yeah, it's sad, but and yet you sort of need some of these structures to help things along. But it's too bad that it gets in its own way almost. It seems like a lot of things in our society and government systems seem to get in their own way.
Correct. To answer the question for anybody who is listening that doesn't, the golden rule of arts and science is he who has the gold makes the rules. Definitely agree we need the systems. Definitely agree we need strict, rigid scientific process standards. But they get carried too far overboard and too far limited and too much of a corporate structure many times. If we could balance that out, that would be helpful as well.
Absolutely. Yep. Same problem we have with our food supply today. Even the organic standard is really based on some very simple parameters and not based on testing of the quality of what's produced. Although I think that's going to change in the near future. So that's encouraging.
Anything in the American food supply that changes for the better is a very good thing, given how compromised and problematic it is, period.
Couldn't agree more. Yeah. Well, fortunately, the consciousness on it is changing, and it's kind of the start that you need for everything else to follow. And it looks like consumers are starting to be more aware of it, and so that's the other catalyst you need to kind of drive the market in a more positive direction. But all change takes time, unfortunately.
Not true. Change does not take time. It takes large amounts of motivation. The change happens in a split second. Just like healing, all healing takes place in a split second. Motivating the patient to get to the point take a long time. Motivating to get to that point takes time. More money.
Very well said. Very well said. That man's on the money.
Going back to earlier comment before we got off on this thread.
Same problem here,
There
Kyle.
is a common saying in all sciences, but in particular in archaeology and anthropology, that likewise applies to your belief in Sasquatch. Drop. The mantra there is, absence of evidence is not evidence of absence.
Yes, exactly. And, you know, the really sad part about the whole Sasquatch thing is there has actually been overwhelming evidence time and time again. Enough evidence that if it were on trial, Bigfoot would be in jail and would be convicted, right? But a lot of that evidence has been covered up and dismissed and hidden. And it's kind of sad. You know, a lot of these encounters that people have, I hear on Sasquatch Chronicles, they had no idea that that thing was out there until they ran into it. And oftentimes they run into it, are unaware of it, mistakenly tick it off, and they have a really bad experience. And then they're afraid to go in the woods ever again because, you know, that's how shaky it was. Some of these guys are, you know, lifelong hunters and, you know, have a huge gun collection. They love to go out and hunt, and then they have a Sasquatch experience. They sell all their guns and they never go in the woods again. It's kind of sad, you know. I think if people were more aware of it, they'd be able to take more appropriate steps for it.
Did you see the video about the lady that got gored by a bison at Yosemite?
Yeah.
And, you know, wonder why this stuff happens?
Well, yeah, she was not being too bright about her interaction, for sure. I did see that, and I've seen several other interactions like that, and I don't know, I'm not opposed to Darwin doing his job.
The only problem with Darwinian law is it's supposed to call out the gene pool. The problem is most of the people, especially most of the males, have already reached reproductive age before Darwinian law applies. So much for that theory.
Oh, that's a good point. But, yeah, I guess there's not much we can do about it. I don't know. Yeah, if you're going to not interact in an intelligent way, then you're going to suffer the consequences. That may be okay in society where things are all kind of overly safe, but you go out in the real world in nature, and nature's going to deal you a harsh lesson if you're not aware, awake, and conscious of what you're doing.
Yes, there's a simple snippet quote for that, which
Awesome, Owen.
is in there, but I can't pull it out right now.
Yeah, I think I kind of know the one you mean, but I can't think of it off the top of my head either. Well, let's see if anybody else has showed up to the party here. This is KD2 Net Control for the Sunday Night All Things Natural Net. If there's any further check-ins, please call now.
This is KD2, you again. Bill.
Hey, Vicky. Well, welcome, KD2UEN. Bill, how are you this evening?
Well, doing pretty good there, CJ.
Nice,
I
Justin.
missed the topic here. I had the radio turned down, so I just turned the volume up, and everybody's talking.
Yeah, the topic has been all over the place. We talked a little bit about science and some of the delusions of science and some of the flaws in the scientific method. We talked a little bit about Sasquatch, and Ken told us about a new whole kingdom that's been discovered. And we're just kind of chatting back and forth with that. So You can throw down your own topic or pick it up with any of those if you like. Kitty 2, I.
Well, Sasquatch is one. I have a size 15 foot, so I've been called that before due to my size. But anyway,
Nice,
the
Stone.
kingdom
Awesome.
that Kenny was talking about, what was that?
I'll put it back to Kenny. Let him elaborate. Kitty 2 TQS. Go ahead.
In the past, blur, known to the average outsider as a week or two, I think, a whole new biological kingdom has been discovered. It is not a plant, it is not an animal, it is not a fungi, it is a whole new category of living species never before identified on the Earth, although they say it's been with us since probably before humans have been on the face of the Earth, but wasn't recognized and it is unknown. They've identified the first species of that. They're come out with the first species of that in the past week or two. That's as much as I can tell you at present, as my brain isn't in that mode.
Wow, Kenny, Kitty 2UEN for ID. That's pretty exciting. We'll look more into that. That's perked my interest here. So anyway, very good, Ken. We'll put it back to you, CJ. I'm gonna have to hear more of this at a later date. That's Kitty 2UEN.
All right, very good. Yeah, so that's a massive discovery, Bill. The fact that was not detected sooner is sort of mind-blowing in a lot of ways, until you really start to understand on a little deeper level how little exploring we've actually done on this planet and how little we actually understand these complex living ecosystems. But yeah, let's just see if anybody else wants to check in here. This is KD2 IIN Net Control, the Sunday Night All Things Natural Net. Looking for any further check-ins, please call now. An ostrich, oh man. Yeah, ostrich and emu are interesting.
KE8OQQ, monitoring.
KE8O.
Yeah, I didn't quite make out your call sign. A little scratch. I heard you say something about you being in and out. Guessing you're on an HT currently. Coming in from Kingston, New York. Name here is Mike. Over.
Mike, I talked to this guy the other day in mobile. Hi, Mike. Welcome. You've actually joined the Sunday Night All Things Natural Net. I think I chatted with you the other day on my way mobile down through New Paltz. I think it's the call is KE8OKQ, I believe. But just hold on one sec, because Bob is mobile and he fades out of range really quick. So K2LD, you are recognized. Do you have anything to say while you're still in range, if you're still in range?
No, CJ, I'm passing on through, so to speak, and I'm going to be in and out here. I'm still going up the mountain, so it's little holes here and there in the peaks that I can get through. I don't know how much longer I'll hold it, but I'm going to listen out. So I just wanted to drop in and say hi.
Awesome. Great, Bob. I always appreciate your check-in, and hope you have a safe trip home, and hope you had a good day. All right, let's go back to, I believe it was KE8OKQ. That's Kilo Echo 8 Oscar Kilo Quebec. Is that correct, Mike?
Yeah, the call center is Kilo Echo 8 Oscar Quebec. Sorry about that.
Quebec.
I know you said something about 8 o'clock, whereas they go this long, but I just wanted to say hi. And I guess enjoy the rest of your weekend. Getting ready to go back to work on Monday. But it was great talking to you. This is Kilo Echo 8 Oscar Quebec.
All right, very good. Well, glad you joined us. I don't know if you're going to stick around for the net or not. You're welcome to. The nets on Sunday night start at 9 p.m. and they go 9 to just a little before 10. But anyway, you're welcome to stick around, and we're going to roll back through the... actually, we'll do another opportunity for check-ins and make sure we don't miss anybody, and then we'll roll back through the list. We'll go back up to Ken. So if there's any further check-ins, please call now. Alright, with no further check-ins, we'll roll back to the top of the list. KD2, TQS, Ken.
Ken will gladly yield to anybody else on the list. I think the people out there might appreciate that.
Alright, well, we'll roll on down to KD2, UEN, Bill.
Yeah, Ken, I was going to put it back to you because you really got me interested now, but I'm going to have to read up more on this subject. That's fascinating. I know they always find new things, but this is quite interesting here. I wonder if they found this in like Yellowstone or something. They've been doing a lot of discoveries in the hot springs and geysers up there.
Yeah, they are, Lisa. They're pretty aggressive.
That would interest me to find out more about this. Did you get this, like, online, this information?
Affirmative. That's about the only way I get any information right now. The problem is I scan at least 6 independent news sources a day, so I can't remember which one to point you to right now. It was carried in almost all of them, in like top 3, Guardian, and several others had it.
Yeah, thanks, Ken. I'll keep my eyes open and see what I can find. That's really got me going there. Here I was going to talk about the weather happening tomorrow there, but this has got me. I'll be looking now. All right, with that, CJ, I'll put it back to you. This is KD2UEN. Thank you.
All right, very good. And yeah, we can talk about the weather as well. I understand we're supposed to receive somewhere around 2 inches of rain over the next 24 to 36 hours. I'm really stoked about that. Our aquifers here are still low. In fact, I went to pump some water up to the greenhouse the other night, and the pond was so low that I could only move about 1.5 gallons or 2 gallons a minute, which is really frustrating. So I'm hoping we get the aquifer refill we need here. All right, with that, we'll roll on down the list to KE80QQ. Mike, if you want, pick it up. Okay, Kai. Solo dance party, do it. Enjoy it. Bet you're relieved. All right, looks like that's it, and I guess Bob will be out of range, so we'll roll back up to Ken. KD2TQS.
Still hoping somebody can come online and tell me what is the flight velocity of an unladen swallow, but maybe we can hold that for next week.
Anyone? Bueller?
That's kind of like trying to count the RPMs of a hummingbird's wings while he's right there in front of you and you have your coffee, Ken.
Well, not really, because there's only one species of hummingbird in the eastern United States, so that sort of takes away the brunt of this joke.
Oh, excuse me. Didn't know that. That's pretty good. Back to you, Ken. KD2UEN here.
All right, yeah, I don't think I've ever had a discussion with Ken where I didn't learn something new and interesting. That guy is just a warehouse of information, so always glad to have him come along for the net. So we're just going to run open rotation here. You guys can chat if you want, and we'll close it up in about 10 minutes. Doesn't look like anybody else is going to check in, so we'll just go informal mode. Fire at will.
Copy that, and I'll fill Bill in on the joke. So the original question CJ put out is throw out a topic, which is a standard one that I'll throw out there when people ask you, you're looking for a conversation starter or
Nice,
they
YT.
topic onto something stupid.
I'll
There's
relay it.
that weird pause.
Thank you.
And I use it in class many times, and only one of my students caught it. I caught a snicker in the back of the room, but she was from South Africa, so they're a bit more into the English humor. Drop. In the Monty Python movie, Monty Python and the Holy Grail, one of the standard jokes, running visual jokes throughout the whole thing was every time they came to a bridge to cross or a log to cross or this or that, they sent their best man up to fight the guardian or the ogre or whatever. And there would be a challenge question. And the question that was asked every single time is, what is the average flight velocity on an unladen swallow? Of course, the fighter would say, what? I don't know. And then you'd see a shot from like the hilltop way behind you, and you see the fighter going, "Ah!" and being cast like 5 miles away from it. And you see that about 5, 6, 8 times during the movie. End of the movie, there's only 2 people left, a Page and King Arthur. So they're going up to the final place. They go for the challenge question. King Arthur says, I'll go. I have to. It's my job. And he walks up, and the guy asks him, he says, what is the flight velocity of an unladen swallow?
Thank you, YT.
King Arthur just looks at him and goes, African or European? And the guy asking the challenge says, I don't know. And then you see that guy going, "Ah!" and being thrown off the thing. So it's a running joke that is actually quite humorous if you look at the whole movie. So that was that reference, Bill, just so you know.
KD2II, and for anybody who wants to know what the actual airspeed velocity of a European unladen swallow is, it's about 24 miles an hour or 11 meters per second, although some sources put it at 10 meters per second.
Well, looks like I won't be fired up over that one. Hey, CJ? I guess we know why King Arthur stayed King Arthur till his end.
There you go. That was a comment from YTFP Chris in the YouTube chat. I guess he went and looked it up.
Looks like I'll have to watch some more of that Monty Python there. I didn't see that one.
Yeah, they're all well worth watching, as well as The Princess Bride. That's another one along those lines.
Yeah, that one I saw.
Oh, nice,
Bill,
man.
Monty Python, you didn't see it? Oh no! Even I said it!
Can Labus the holy hand grenade of Antioch.
Only 2, 3, not 2, 4. Not 2, 4 minus 1, but 2, 3. And do not pause or delay at 2, for you shall be too long, and then you shall be at 4, and you can only hold till 3.
Right on the money. KD2II.
And the word it is a reference to the knights who say, me! Whatever it is, you can't say it. Oh no! I just said it. Oh no! But a nice rubbery will take care of that.
Yeah, all these scenes and pieces are coming back to me as you're talking about them. Night 70! All right, I guess we've burned that topic out. Well, let's see. It's 9:40. I don't know if you guys have anything else you want to talk about tonight. I know Bill you got your weather station up and running. Is that correctly? Or correct? Correctly.
No, not yet. I've got the box. So it arrived over the weekend, and what I was really referring to earlier was that things are moving along better now. I have my attenuator for my fox hunting.
Okay.
So next time that Ken is shooting pictures of us while we're doing the fox hunt, they'll see a big smile on my face because I intend on being the founder of the fox, and also my weather station is in, so I'll be getting that up this week, maybe after this Force 10 hurricane or whatever it is we're going to get in is over with, and that will make me very happy, especially now that I'm listening. Let me drop. Now that I'm listening to everybody else with their problems, I'll know what to look for, and it should make my installation and hookup go much easier. Back to you, CJ.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad things are coming along. I'm glad you got your attenuator, and I'm sorry I wasn't able to make the fox hunt. I was interested in being part of that, but things are just so busy for me right now. I haven't had the time for it. But it's something I've had interest in for years, and did on some level back when I was a teenager. But I haven't had a chance to get back and play with it. And I really like the game concept of that, and understanding RF. I love how you can do so many things with the fox, or searching for the fox, based on how you can manipulate how the RF signal shows up on your radio. So that's an exciting new addition to the club and to the club's activities.
Yeah, a comment here. I have to say that I learned so much, had such a great time. Zena and I did it together, so that really made it great. It's something
got one here, Vinny,
that we can work on, and I've talked to other people who would do this, and they have their wives working with them, actually going out in the cars and learning how to triangulate and all that kind of stuff. Let me drop for a second. So, I was very excited and had a great time. I highly recommend it for anybody with any curiosity and any of that kind of thing. Definitely get out and do it. We had some good instruction, and best yet, I learned so much, even though we were the last ones to finish up, and we didn't find any foxes, but we certainly learned a lot, and next time I intend on going into it well prepared and knowing my equipment, and it should be a lot of fun. So back to you, CJ. This is K2UEN.
Awesome. Oh, I'm glad you enjoyed it, Bill. And we'll throw back up to Ken, KD2TQS. Any comments or thoughts on that?
I wasn't even participating, and I learned a huge amount just listening to it, seeing it. And again, I say I actually learned a bit more than Bill or Guy or Rob, because I saw all of their experiences, and I was the only one who saw Steve do it, just using a regular antenna, using the body of an attenuator. So it was awesome. It was amazing. Starting to pull the video on that today, and it's like, oh yeah, that was good, that was fun. It was definitely a good time. Definitely need to do more of that.
Awesome. I'm really glad you got to get some pictures and videos. I'll look forward to seeing that whenever it comes out. And I agree. We definitely need to do more of it. And it's exciting and fun and interesting, and a great way to learn about radio and radio propagation. So fantastic. All right, I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up, gentlemen. I got another stream I'm going to be on here in about 15 minutes. I want to squeeze a stoke in on the greenhouse furnace here. So thank you guys for coming in. Thank you for your excellent conversation and insight as always. Always appreciate your participation. With that, this is KD2IIN Net Control for the Sunday Night All Things Natural Net. The Sunday Night All Things Natural Net is an amateur radio net provided to Overlook Mountain Amateur Radio Repeater, dedicated to farming, gardening, and ecology. And obviously the scope of our topic goes so much broader. Let me just make a few announcements. Every day at 8:35 a.m. and 6:30 p.m. is the OMARC Daily Check-In Net. I encourage you to check in and see what's going on here in the Hudson Valley and in our repeater and club. Always good conversation, lots of participation. Thursday nights at 8 p.m. Dave, K2JLV, runs the Thursday Night Net. That is a more technically oriented net dedicated to radio, Raspberry Pi, antenna building, and all sorts of technical topics, including DMR and fusion and all sorts of stuff. So I hope you'll check that out as well. That said, this is KD2IIN, closing the Sunday Night All Things Natural Net. You can always find out more about our club by visiting our website at www.omarcclub.org. That's whiskey.Oscar Mike Alpha Charlie Lima Uniform Bravo.Oscar Romeo Golf. Thank you guys for participating. Always enjoy your conversation. I hope you have a great evening. We'll talk to you again soon. KD2IIN, returning this repeater to regular amateur use, and I will be clear on your respective finals. Or not.
KD2TQS, interesting net. Thank you, CJ. Good night all. KD2TQS,
K2UEN will be clear here. Thanks for the QSO and
yeah, you missed it. You can always rewatch it.
We'll talk to you next week. So take care and have a great night. This KD2UEN will be clear 73s.
Awesome. All right, folks, that's it. I'm going to try and squeeze in a stoke in the greenhouse before the paranormal portal starts up. I hope you'll join us in the paranormal portal. If you're not familiar with that, let me see if I can find it quick. If Geeky doesn't beat me to it, he usually does. If you're not familiar with the paranormal portal, I'll drop a link here in chat to it. You should, see, Geeky beat me to it. Thank you, Geeky. Excellent. Anyway, thank you, everyone. Excellent conversation. I'm sorry I'm not as tuned in to chat as I'd like to be, but there's a lot of conversation going on here, and it's hard to keep an eye on all of those things. But thanks, everyone, for participating, and hopefully we'll see you guys Tuesday night at 12 a.m. Eastern Time, 9 p.m. Pacific Time for Comrades in Farms. We talk about farming, gardening, food, soil health, ecology, and so much more. Thanks to everybody for participating, watching, and chatting. We'll see you again soon, and I'll throw you back to the outro. Good night, everyone.
Bye.